Welcome, everybody. It's wonderful to see you. Hopefully, you'll turn your videos on so I can see you as well. My name is Ann Hewson, and it's great to see you on an early Saturday morning. Welcome to Community Rehabilitation and Disability Studies. We're very excited to know and meet you in the next few months as we get ready to roll in September. I would just welcome you all to our program, which we are very excited to share some information about for those first-year students. And that's who I assume is in the room. Are all of you in your first year? You're just coming out of high school for the most part, are you? I'm guessing you are. Beginning of this session, I wanted to just take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about one of the most important features of our, I'm sorry, there's a little technical question here going on. Hang on a sec. I'm not sure if you're having difficulty connecting. Some people may be, but at any rate, I'm going to focus a little bit on the practicum experience in the community rehab and disability studies. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see some information on this PowerPoint. The exciting part about our program for many students is not just the opportunity to take courses around theory and practice related to disability issues that are affecting people in their community, but also to have experiential opportunities through placements in various community agencies and organizations where students get a chance to, in fact, be able to work with and meet and connect with a variety of agencies and services and the people they serve, and to spend much of their early first experiences prior to identifying their career choices. So it's a very exciting opportunity in our program for students to learn more about how the world really works. I'm still getting messages here, so I'm not quite sure if people are able to see the screen, but I assume that's true. The slides I'm showing you are just, the first slide is just a little introduction into the community rehab and disability studies, asking who we are, what are we studying, the kinds of areas of questions that we're engaged in as researchers and scholars and as students. Okay. Anyway, I hope, let me know, can everybody hear me? Maybe if you just kind of give me a quick wave if you can, or just say something out loud so I know that you can all hear me. Some people are having trouble with the sound. Does everybody hear me? Does somebody want to unmute their mic so I can find out if I'll unmute you all? No, I can't. They're unmuted. Okay. Can you all hear me? Just somebody say yes or no so I can move forward here. Hello? I can hear somebody. Maeve, you're letting me know that can you tell me, Maeve, if you can hear me? Just so I can be sure our sound is working. Hello? Okay, I hear somebody, so maybe I'm going to assume you can all hear me. So let's continue from where I left off with the Community and Disability Studies program. Just type me a little note, maybe if you can read. Okay, great. I now have read the text that you can hear me. Great. I was trying to share the screen and read the text at the same time. For some reason, that didn't seem to work on my laptop. Anyway, so I'm going to go back to the screen for a minute and share my PowerPoint again. Hopefully you can see it. And if there are, as I'm talking, I just wanted to let you know that in Community Rehab and Disability Studies program, we're a small but mighty faculty. There's 8 full-time faculty, and then that includes for you a practicum coordinator. Her name is Patty Desjardins, and she will be a very important person to you as you get started in your first year. One of the exciting things about it is that we do begin experience placement 25-hour rather placement, and this allows the students, I think, a great opportunity to begin learning more about issues outside of the classroom. So as you will see in this slide, the 2 courses, Core 2 7, will be courses that you
like green shorts.
Sorry, I can hear somebody talking. Asking a question. Sorry, was someone asking a question? Anyway, okay, your mics are all muted now. Thanks. So following along with your practicum preparation, there are things that are really important for you to get started in doing before you actually dive into coursework, and one of those is to get ready for your practicum. Again, I have to share my screen, I think, to try and show you where you will begin. That process is to make sure your U of C email account is activated and working properly, this is where you will get all the information as we get started prior to the first day of class. You'll be submitting various documentations. There is a student profile that you will be, I'll just show you here, that you will be asked to fill out that will help us figure out your schedule with you and how you will connect with your opportunity in the community and what areas of interest you want to focus on to begin your studies. The other thing you will do is there's a Sign Up Genius which will be on the website, and you'll get information by email about that as well. So one of the hints for everyone is to begin checking your, as soon as you activate your UCalgary email, to check it on a very regular basis so that you are up to date with the various preparations that you have to make. The Sign Up Genius is to help you figure out your time and availability and your schedule and how that will help you make a match for your 24-hour placement. The things to remember is that we will be giving you a list of potential places that we offer, so be sure to study those and make sure you complete all the documents that are required. And do wait for a reply from Patty, the practicum coordinator, on confirming your placement. And once you've had that confirmation, you can then make contact with the placement, but not before then. And also remember that this program, one of the most important pieces of our learning, we think, is that we have smaller classrooms where you get to meet people, you get to work alongside others in the community, and we expect you to be pretty excited by the opportunities that will present themselves in the next few months. The other things to say quickly, if you haven't already been introduced to the idea that we do have a CRD SSA student association. This is an association that'd be wonderful for you to join. When you first get started, you'll meet other students, but in all the different years of the program, you'll be able to connect with them around a variety of questions that you might have. And the other thing I want to remind you is we do, in our practicums, have peer mentors. So we have senior students who will be connecting with all the first year students and being a support to them as they take up their placement opportunities. So you will have, I think, many opportunities to connect with other students, with faculty, and with the community at large. So we're really excited to welcome you into the program, and I'll take this time now just to open it up, and feel free to either type in a question or to unmute and ask me a question so everyone can hear. So somebody has asked me, what are some of the practicum examples? Yes, there are a number of places where students might get engaged. Some of them might be involved with the agencies that are serving and supporting children in recreational activities, in various events, and where an opportunity for you to work with facilitators or the coordinators of the various recreation programs around the city. Some of you might be engaged with some aspects of the various programs that support children in educational early intervention settings, or also working with adults around supporting them to gain skills in employment. You might work with seniors in seniors residence, where you would have an opportunity to learn more about the kinds of programs that are available to seniors in our community. There is a wide range of interests. What interests you? one question here is, are there placements in hospitals? We are not a medical rehab program. We're very much more interested in the social issues of our community and the ways in which we can support people to have a full and inclusive life. So that doesn't mean that there may not be opportunities through various therapy, adjunct therapy services at, say, the Children's Hospital. That is, we do not place our students in active acute care hospitals. Some other questions, things you'd like to know about the campus, or I would say, I forgot to mention, you may have learned this already, that our particular program is located on the Foothills campus of the university. So it is across the 16th Avenue from the main campus. And we are in what's called the TRW building, where our faculty are located. We do deliver most of our courses. The face-to-face courses will be delivered on the main campus, but our actual faculty offices are over on the Foothills campus. We have courses, as you may know, that are both online and face-to-face. And so students will engage in multiple ways of learning. This year, because as you all know, our world has been turned upside down by the pandemic, that we are still uncertain about some of the realities of what the world will be like in Calgary in September. We have already built some contingency plans for that in case we are not able to place students in community sites. That will highly depend on the directions from public health experts about what will be safe to do. But if we do not have placements in the community in the fall, and that's a big if, then we will have various experts and community members who will be engaging with you in workshop formats on campus. It would be our hope that that would still be possible. If that isn't possible, we will still be likely to distribute our program online, and so there would be the courses would be delivered remotely. These are still decisions that have yet to be made, and we will, of course, as I'm sure you know, be keeping everyone posted about the September start and how it will all roll out. But it's our hope that you will be back to kind of a new normal come September. Any question? Another question? Any other comments? Things you'd like to know about? What would a day look like when we're doing the practicum? What are some of the things we do during the practicum? Well, those are very good questions. The kinds of opportunities you have when you are in this first year of practicums, you're probably being in a site placement for about 2 hours a week. And so the idea would be that you would be connected with a key person at that site, and their role would be to introduce you and orient you to whatever activities and programs are involved. And you may be asked to engage in certain kinds of specific activities depending on the kind of program. So for example, if it is a recreation program, you might be working with other staff or other volunteers to coordinate activities, to support students or children in those activities. And those specific jobs will be particular to the place you're spending your time. So it might be children, it might be in a classroom where you would be observing, it might be in a seniors assisted living arrangement where you might be helping out set up some kind of recreational activities as well. You may also be meeting with people who are learning job placement skills and working in various ways to get ready for employment at various kinds of agencies that deliver those services. In any case, you won't be having jobs as such, but you will be getting a good orientation and initiation and opportunity to meet people and talk with them and get to know more about their life experiences. Any more questions? Someone else have a question? Someone has just asked if there is an option for a practicum in a chiropractic office. No, we've never had such a placement before. I'm not sure in what way that might be relevant to our program, but the short answer is no, we don't at this point. Have any of you looked at our website? I'm not sure if you have had a chance to check out our website, but that's another place where you can look for some description of the various programs that we offer, the kinds of resources that we have available, and get some understanding of some of the ways in which our coursework might introduce you to new opportunities for learning. Our website, if you haven't checked out our website, just encourage you to do that. Just go to BCR U of C and you should be able to click to find our quite a large amount of information about our program. Obviously, you would have probably looked at them when you were considering applying to U of C. So now you can look at it with more detailed interest in various aspects of the engagement in practicum activities, for example. The focus of our practicum courses, yes, there could be mental health related practicums for sure. The principles in our practice, in our practicum program really are to introduce you to a wide range of experiences with different, from different disciplines. So you'll be engaged in learning more about community supports, children's services, vocational services, inclusive education, and some allied health professionals, such as occupational physio and speech therapy. Our collaborations are really with a wide range of people across the community who are excited to have students. They're very keen to have students and are prepared to work with you in understanding the issues of disability and how those are related to day-to-day life experiences for children and their families, for adults, for seniors, and around a wide range of disabling conditions. the focus of our program is really around encouraging students, getting students to understand more about what some of the issues are or problems that society sees about people with disabilities, and looking at ways to break down those barriers and to identify some of the issues of social injustice and inequity in order to learn more about how you can, as a student and hopefully as someone who takes up a career in this area, can begin to identify ways in which you can make social change that makes lives better for people. You may have, particularly at this time, if you've been reading the newspaper at all, you recognize that some of the most vulnerable people during a time of the emergencies like this pandemic have been people with disabilities. And there's very good reasons why some of those complex problems exist. Is because they have been not had the same access to healthcare services, not had the same access to supplies and supports, and are often socially isolated in ways already that are even more extremely experienced in terms of social distancing as we're doing at the moment. So there's all kinds of, for those of you who have a passion for social justice and for concern about making a difference in the world, this program and a practicum opportunities are real life ways in which you can get to know more and to make a difference in someone else's life. Any other questions? Anyone want to unmute and ask a question that everyone can hear? Just to remind you again, there will be peer mentors. That'll be senior students who will be working with you and sort of walking through your experience, having opportunities to debrief and discuss your practicums in your first year, so that it adds one more opportunity to network and to learn from senior students about practicums they might choose that they've experienced and how that might influence what you choose in your next years ahead. Our practicums are built so that they're laddered, so you start out with 24 hours a week, then you move in the next years to practicums for 60 hours a week, and then your senior practicums will be 130 hours, not a week, sorry, a year, a term rather, sorry, 60 hours a term, and in your final senior practicums will be 130 hours per term. So you will have a graduated way to get more engaged and have more in-depth learning opportunities in placements as you move from your first and second year into your third and fourth years. Can I invite any more questions, please? I'm happy to try and answer them. How are we assessed in the practicums? Well, that's a very good question. Yes, it's a very important point to think about. Practicums are not like volunteer experiences. They will have assignments associated with the practicum course that you're taking. And so you would be assessed on the basis of the assignments that invite you to have an opportunity to identify and meet the requirements for the assignments. So let me just be more clear about that. If I were to look at a course, 205, which is one of your practicum courses, this will be introducing you to social, political, economic, bioethical, technological issues and issues of advocacy related to people with disabilities and their families. So your tutorials that you will be having and your practicum will identify ways in which you will seek to answer questions, to explore ideas, and to be able to answer those questions. If I were to just look at one of those courses for assignments, I think what you will find is that the practicum, well, part of your assessment will be related to showing up, keeping your promise, presenting yourself to the agency in a professional manner, and whatever activities you've been asked to be engaged in, you will be evaluated on the basis of his participation in those activities. When can you start signing up for practicum? Well, for 205, if you have registered in the course, once you have registered and have your U of C email account, then you can begin to connect with your practicum coordinator, who is Patty Desjardins. And to get started, you will wait to receive an email from her, and she will give you information about what you need to do to sign up. So just to go back to that screen, I'll show you the sign up form that you will receive, and allow you to, hopefully you can see that now. You will see that you'll receive this student profile, and this is where you'll complete the information that you need once you're registered, as I assume you might be registered in the course. Did that answer your question? If not, just ask me some more. If you don't have any experience working with people with disability, is that fun? Yes, it is. That's a very good question. And indeed, that's part of why we want to have these early field opportunities for you to connect and meet people in your first term. So any opportunity you can to read more or take up some volunteer experience prior to starting in September, of course, would be fabulous. You're not expected necessarily to have had previous experience before starting the practicums. Will you receive any prior training before starting a practicum? Yes, you will be in your course, in your various courses, and in those opportunities in the courses, there'll be a chance to work with your instructor, with your peer mentor in your tutoring sessions as well, to prepare you for those practicum placements. So please don't be anxious about that. There will be lots of ways in which you can ask questions, get more comfortable, and everyone recognizes that this is, exciting opportunity for you to enter sometimes into a world that you may not have been very familiar with, and there will be support to do that. Hope that answered your question about prior training. And It is our experience that students, once they get engaged in the ideas and talking about some of the issues, that they feel much more relaxed and excited to meet people and to spend time learning more about their lives. One of the hopes we have for all of our students is that this is a real opportunity to learn to connect and to listen to other people's stories, who have probably had experiences that may not be the same as the experiences you've had. Some other questions? We are booked in this Zoom until 10 o'clock, but it's just almost 9:45. So I'm certainly here for more questions. Let me know whether everyone is satisfied and we can end the session, or whether there's some more things we can discuss. Yes, David, you were asking the question if the first semester might be online. We, at this point, University of Calgary is still debating and discussing, and we'll be looking to contingency plans if it's required. But we don't have a final decision yet. Our spring courses, for those who are already in the program, is being delivered online. And there is a potential that courses will be delivered online in September. But of course, this is highly dependent on the advice and direction of our city, of our public health, and of course, the University of Calgary's decisions. So it's a bit unpredictable at this point, but we are prepared to be able to move with whichever option is needed in September. Of course, our hope is we will all be back to regular on-campus and practicum placements as usual, but we'll keep you all posted, and I'm sure you will be aware of what the community standards will be moving forward. It is exciting to know that a few things are being a bit more relaxed starting this next few weeks. So we are hopeful that that kind of continued practice will happen, and that everyone will be healthy and well and safe to do so. You're welcome, no worries. I wish we could be more clear, but I think you should also not be too worried. We relax. We actually have alternative ways to begin the semester if we have to, and we hope that that doesn't disadvantage you in any way of getting connected to the university and all of that it has to offer. Did anyone have any questions about our website, or how to get there, or do you have an understanding of what courses you're signed up? Many of you would have been meeting, I guess, yesterday with Sarah Hawley, who is our student advisor. Would you have been meeting with her to start to register for courses? So I'm not sure if anyone have questions that came out of that, but someone is trying to message me here. I don't know who it's from. No, it isn't for me. I was just going to put the URL for our website so that you have a copy. If you haven't checked it out lately, good to do that as well. Oh, I didn't mean to do it to Amy. I meant to do it to everybody. I don't know why is that happening? Let me try that again. When do practicum? Okay, here I have a couple more questions. In the course of your degree, how many practicums in the course of your degree? That's a good question. You start out with the two courses, fall and winter, in your first year. You will then have a 60-hour practicum in your second year. And in your senior year, you will have a linked practicum, so two practicums where you will hopefully stay in the same project, same activities in the fall and winter terms. So altogether, you will have 5 practicum opportunities in the time of your program. And the hours increase. So you're starting out with 24 hours in the 200 practicum. In the next year, when you're doing your 400 practicum, it will be 60 hours. And in 207, in your second term, you will be doing I'm sorry, in your second term of your winter of your first year, rather, your 207 practicum, I made a mistake there. Let me just be clear about that. You will be doing, let me just go to the slide so I can show you again, and you can see it. You'll be doing a 60-hour practicum. So your first term in September will be much more of a getting oriented to potential practicums, and in your second term in January to April in 207, you will be in a practicum for approximately 5 hours a week. So that's 60 hours in total, and that's in your 207 course that I hopefully you can see on the screen right now. Here, the other question you had, it was, for some reason I can't seem to look at the screen and see what your questions are. When do practicums begin? So practicums essentially begin at the first week of, in your first week of term. You will be meeting with your instructors, whether that's online or face-to-face, and from there you'll get direction about when to start your hours of practicum. So because you're doing 24 hours and it's over 13 weeks, it's typically that you would hopefully get started right in that first week or in that first 10 days of meeting and connecting with your facilitator in your practicum site. So our hope is that students get started right away. Of course, this September, we're not entirely clear how that's going to work, but our hope is that we'll begin right in the first week of the semester. More questions? Did I answer okay around how many practicums we have in the course? Let me just go over it again. 205 in the fall, which is 24 hours. 207 in the winter, which is 60 hours. So that's 2 courses. When you then go into your second or third year, you'll be taking 487, which is your next course, and then your final senior practicum. So altogether, that is 5 practicum opportunities. Yes, I can certainly make the practicum. We will have this PowerPoint, and we have a couple of other PowerPoints that we will be putting online so you'll have a chance to get more specific details. It's hard today to give you lots of details because you'll not likely remember them exactly, but we will be posting in late May our detailed instructions about practicum, and there will be a job aid to help you on the website as well for signing up for the practicum. So yes, is the short answer to that. One of the things I should say in terms of your practicum, that in order to move to your 400 level practicum, of course, you will have to have completed 205, 207. So there are prerequisites for practicums, which is our effort to make sure people have the early experiences before they move to the more advanced experiences. Okay, we're just have a few more minutes left. Is there any last minute questions that anyone would like me to answer if I can? When do we fill out our student profile? That's a good question. So you will keep checking your UCalgary emails. Hopefully you will get those accounts activated. And when you do, then you will keep checking, and you should receive information from the practicum coordinator and your instructor for your 205 course that you'd be enrolled in. So you'd be looking for information related to CORE, C-O-R-E 205. And then you can fill that out as soon as we ask for that information. It will probably, I'm guessing you'll get that information. We're all just a little bit unsure about timing at this time because of our unusual circumstances. but I suspect you will be getting this information pretty quickly, probably in the next, I would say, May or late May or early June, for us to, because we are still trying to work with the community in terms of identifying where you might want to be placed and what's available. So keep an eye on your UCalgary email, and you'll get a request to fill in this form, the student profile form. Does that answer your question? Was there, obviously I'm giving it a precise date, but keep your eyes peeled for it. Great. Well, I really appreciate that you showed up on an early Saturday morning to share some time with us, and we're all very excited as faculty and instructors to meet you and to learn more about what brings you to the program, and an opportunity for you to connect with each other and to become really part of our University of Calgary is very exciting, and there's so many aspects to life on campus that we hope will be underway by fall. And keep in touch with us. We check our website. We will have these PowerPoints online, and just to remind you always that our student advisor, Sarah Hawley, will be available and continues to be available for any individual advice you might have. Oh, here's a question. Are there any research opportunities in this program after the first year? Yes, there are. All of our faculty are engaged in various research activities and projects, which are all pretty fascinating and exciting. And in fact, one of the opportunities in your more senior practicums is to have a research practicum. So it is possible for you to be engaged with one of our faculty or one of the faculty in our program that fits your interests, and for you to learn more about research skills, learning how to review the literature, learning how to collect data, learning how to interpret data. Those would be opportunities that will be available after the first year. Thank you for that question. That's a really good one. Anything else? As we wind down the clock here, we've got two more minutes left. If there's anything else. Is there a likelihood of getting a job after all your practicums? Yes, it is absolutely likely. In fact, we have a very high rate of students gaining employment based on both their work in our program or in work in the community around disability-related issues. In fact, quite often students will be offered summer employment during their years of study because they've made connections and networks and gotten to know people in various agencies and services. So I would say we have a really high employment opportunity rate, if you like, for our students. This is a great need for people to be employed in this field, and you will most likely, especially if you love the work you do in your practicums, they will love you, and there will be opportunities to be employed. One of the things we do every year, I should quickly say, is at the end of term, we have something called a connector event where we bring together all the students and the various practicum agency facilitators to share the projects that you've done and to network and meet various professionals in the various agencies, so it opens up even more opportunities in your next year for choosing your next practicum, or for maybe even doing job interviews for employment. Any more questions? Any thoughts? Thank you all for joining today, and sorry about some of the technical glitches. Not always sure we get these things right, but we just do our best, and we look forward to meeting all of you in September. Thank you.